Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today, I figured we'd do something a little bit different. We're not going to do any deck profiles, we're not going to do any discussion videos, but I am going to give you some tips for making a side deck for any speed duel tournament that you're going to go to. And just give you a bunch of different options for things that you can side in and take to your locals, or if you're going to like YCS side events, stuff like that. So, to start things off, I'm not going to give you like 3-ofs or anything, I'm just going to give you card options. But to start us off, very first thing that we're going to talk about is if you need extra protection. So, something that you can side in. You can side in some Sphere Karibos. I can't remember how many cards you can have on your side. I think it's only 5. I'm not entirely sure. But this is something you can run as a 3 of on the side. Nothing too crazy. This is all just general protection for your cards. Changing things in defense position if they're attacking into your stuff. Another good example, siding in Kunai with Chain. This one does give you that attack boost, which is kind of nice, and it gives you some targeted changing to defense position as well. And the last one, you could probably guess, Windstorm of Itaqua. If for whatever reason you're not maining any of these in your deck, you could definitely side these in. But yeah, those are the 3 as far as protection goes. That you could side in. Okay, let's go to spell and trap card removal. First off, you can run 7 Tools of the Bandit to do trap card negation. Downside with 7 tools is the fact that you do have to pay 1,000 life points. With speed duels, since you only have 4,000 life points, you're giving up a quarter of your life points to negate something. So there's a little bit of risk reward with this. So, because if you are down in life points, you won't be able to activate it at all. But as the wise old DZ says, life points don't matter. So take that as you will. So 7 Tools of the Bandit, we have D Spell. For spell removal, this is great if you're going to side against Amazons, because they do have a lot of spells with Village and with Heirloom as well. So D-Spell's a great card to use against Amazons. Wild Tornado. Here's another great card to destroy face-up spells and traps. So again, great against Amazon. This card especially is great against Amazon because if it is face down and they happen to pop it with Sage, you're able to pop a card on their field, regardless of whether it's a spell or a trap. So this is another great option. And Dice Foon. This card's risky, but for those of you that enjoy the risk in the die rolling, this can be a very good card for you. If you roll 2, 3, or 4, you can destroy 1 spell or trap on the field. If you roll a 5, you can destroy 2 spells or traps on the field. If you roll a 1 or a 6, though, you take 1,000 damage. So you have, what is it, like a 50% chance of popping 1 card, a 6th chance of popping 2, so it being, for all you TCG players out there, it would be kind of like a, oh geez. I'm completely blanking, and I don't know why. Wow, I'm dumb. Oh, Twin Twisters, there we go, wow, I'm an idiot. So it could act like a Twin Twisters. But if you do roll a 1 or a 6, you take the downside from 7 Tools of the Bandit without any negation at all. You just take 1,000 damage. So, again, high risk, high reward, if you can pull it off. So, just another spell trap card removal option there for you. So, before we get into like the really spicy text, one more, you could always side in Shard of Greed if you're not getting enough card draw. For those of you that like those combo decks and you just need the extra pieces. If for whatever reason you're not already playing Shard of Greed, you could just side this in. Or if you're just getting superstitious, like with Tribal Synergy, and for whatever reason you're not able to get your Tribal Synergy off and you're not playing Shard of Greed, you could just add this in to get more card draw. Okay, on to some spicy text. Possess Dark Soul to side in against Relinquish decks. For those of you that don't know what this card is, you can tribute this face-up card and take control of all face-up level 3 or lower monsters your opponent currently controls. You can steal your opponent's Relinquished with this card. Fantastic side against Relinquished, which is extremely good right now in the meta. I think like the top 3 decks right now are Blue Eyes, Amazonas, and Relinquished. So if you want to be prepared for those Relinquished decks, I would side and possess Dark Soul. Great tech option to just steal the Relinquished and any other lower level monsters that they might have. If you're going for board wipes, side in Time Wizard. Again, there's a ton of risk reward with this card as well. Basically, you flip a coin, and if you lose, your field gets blown up and you lose half of your life points. Well, half the life points of the combined equal attack of all the monsters you currently control. But if you do succeed, it blows up your opponent's board of all their monsters. So, again, more spicy tech. One more thing, you can add in Copycat. Copycat also works pretty well. If for whatever reason you are able to copy a Blue Eyes, if they don't have Lord of D on the field, you can use Copycat to copy a Blue Eyes and get a free 3,000 beater. So just another option. Copycat probably out of this entire list is like the least deserving spot on here. That and Time Wizard, but again, it depends on the type of deck you're playing and the access to cards that you have. Okay, and for some last couple spicy spell and trap options, Half Shut is always a good idea. You can target a face-up monster in the field. It cannot be destroyed by battle this turn, but its attack is halved until the end of the turn. So you can have something's attack. I mean, it's going to stay on the field until the end of the turn, so it's going to go back to its original power, but this can close out some games for you. Like if you happen to have a Blue Eyes attack down to 1,500, you can potentially win a game if their life points are low enough. Half Shut's great against pretty much only Blue Eyes, but it can offer you some extra protection, kind of like what those other cards were doing before. Something very similar to that, Shield and Sword. This can be very detrimental to a few decks. Most of the cards in the game have very similar attack and defense, but if for whatever reason you're playing against zombies, or Skull Servants, for example, they have 0 defense no matter what. If you use Shield and Sword, you're going to flip that around, their attack is going to be 0, and you can swing for a bunch of damage, basically a direct attack. So you can side in Shield and Sword against zombies. Zombies aren't around that much, but it is an option if you know you're gonna play against a bunch of zombie players. And Conscription. This card is only good if you know that they're playing mainly a ton of monsters, which is really hard to decide if they just didn't happen to set or use any back row. So it's a hard card to gauge whether or not this is going to be useful or not. But you can excavate the top of your opponent's deck. If it's a monster that can be normal summoned or set, you can special summon it to your field. Otherwise, add that card to your opponent's hand. Again, with the risk and reward with the cards that we've been talking about so far, I would only use this card if you know that they're playing a ton of monsters. Blue Eyes is a good example of this. Where mainly they're only using combo pieces. They're using the 3 Blue Eyes, 3 Lord of D, Blue Dragon Summoner. Like half their deck, minimum, is going to be monsters. As far as anything beyond that, there aren't a whole lot of decks that use specifically monsters, or well over half monsters. That Conscription would give you a pretty good chance of stealing a monster from their deck. So again, spicy tech, nothing too crazy with Conscription, but it does give you another option for some side deck opportunities. So let me know what you think of that, guys. Again, these are just my side deck options for you. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 different cards that I feel are decent options that you could run for a side deck if you're going to go to a tournament. Or even if you're just playing super casually too at your local game shop or anything too. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. If you have any other really super spicy side deck options that are very generic that you could probably put into any deck, please let me know. I'd be very interested to hear what your potential side deck options are. But as always, thank you guys for the support. We have been getting so many views on the channel lately, and it's only been a couple weeks. So thank you all for the support. Love you all. Have an absolutely wonderful night, and don't forget to like and subscribe.